I'm starting the discussion of odd time signatures with 7/8 because it's one of the simplest, the easiest, the first ones to approach if you're used to 4/4. Let's listen to a quick metronome breakdown of one of the ways to work with 7/8. It's the 4+3 approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now, most people are going to count that 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Not maybe most. I don't know how many people are going to count it that way. Pedagogy is not what we're getting into here, but da 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 is what we're going for there. And it's 1/8 note away from 4/4. So you can move into this time signature if you've been conditioning the audience to listen for 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kind of switch into it and start catching them off guard. Let's listen to the drums with a string line. I think mostly cellos and violas. That line's probably already been written, but it starts showing you ways that you can break the 7 beats down into 4+3. Now you could do 3+4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But starting with the 4 and then dropping the last fourth to go 1, 2, 3 at the end, and then starting over again right away, gives that sense of a heartbeat skipped, and it's a little bit more common, a little bit easier to start approaching, especially if you're coming out of a 4/4 section, or if you assume the audience is used to listening to 4/4. And, I'm not suggesting that you just repeat things over and over. I wrote this in, I think, starting around an F, and then I moved it around the keyboard. You would probably, you play with the notes. The whole point here is the rhythmic exercise. Let's look now at 5/8 real quick. And this one might be more well suited to coming out of a 6/8. So if you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're doing that kind of waltzy, triplet-y feel. You would come out of that potentially and drop the last 3, again doing a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is slightly more jarring for some people, which is why I'm introducing it second. Let's hear the count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. However you want to use the numbers in your head. We'll add a little cello line to that. I'm picking something slightly more mysterious. You could do something major, but it's got that slightly more asymmetrical feel, I think, than the 7/8 generally. You could, again, reverse the 2, make it 2+3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. But starting with the 3 kind of implies the triplet feel is what you're going to go for, but then you yank away the last beat, dropping 6 down to 5. We'll listen to it with a viola counter melody, or I don't know if it's really a counter melody. It's more of just a harmony ostinato, I guess. Right? And obviously, again, I'm going to play this on a repeat so you can get used to it for a second if you're not used to counting these, but you change the notes. I'm just writing a quick example. The nice thing about these is that if you want to create suspense or action, you can drop these in a lot of different places. So I'll hit stop at different places. And you can imagine what could come after next. You can also obviously introduce 16th notes if you're just working in 8th note bass. So there's those things. I wanted to play them before we finish faster, since I'm kind of in a... I mean, how fast could you push a real player to a group of players to get these accurate? And don't just write in spiccato. Introduce marcatos, do some legato. I'm kind of just quickly throwing something out there so that you can get used to the rhythms. I mean, That's pretty exciting once you get a bit faster there, right? Maybe this line doesn't work quite as well. It loses a little bit of the mystery. Let's say 120. Big sense of urgency there. What if it was even slower? It probably doesn't hold up quite as well slow. And I'll take the drums out. Feels a little bit more clockworky, but you can start feeling different ways of playing with these things. Maybe I would say more like a 116 kind of feel. Yeah, play with chord changes there. So these are some ideas to play with asymmetrical or odd meters, time signatures. 2+3, 3+2 for 5/8, 3+4 or 4+3 for 7/8 are typical ways of approaching them. I hope this helps inspire some creativity, get some new meters working in your compositions. One of the questions before I end, these tricks are great for writing to picture if the action sort of has been edited, if you're getting a lock to picture kind of cut and you're going to try to match the music to what you're seeing on screen and you want to drop a beat because the cut is beginning to accelerate itself and kind of the internal timing of the scene has started accelerating or follows a pattern that this works well for, and you're dropping beats to land, kind of synchronize the music with the scene better. Great, that's fine. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense, right? The question comes up with cue writers probably, well, won't this mess with the editor? Won't the editor have trouble editing to an asymmetrical time signature? And generally, I think the answer is no. They'll cut your music however they feel it's necessary to use it. They can feel beats, by and large, quite well. They're generally very excellent with timing. I mean, a video editor understands timing, maybe not always with the background that someone who studied music, or whether formally or informally, might have. But it doesn't mean that they don't understand strong beats and accents and certainly pacing. And if they're cutting together a scene and they want to use a cue, they're going to cut it to the beat or they're going to cut your cue. Either way, I wouldn't worry about writing cues in asymmetrical time signatures for the sake of the editors. If you have a strong musical idea, you want to write something in an asymmetrical time signature, I would say the editor can handle it. And if they don't want to use it, you're right, they won't use that cue, but they might not have used your 4/4 cue either. So I would go ahead and try it. It is one of the things that is going to make your piece potentially stick out of the crowd and potentially get used. It might be perfect for the scene. Use it wisely, but use it.